The city does not sleep, it merely exhales before its next breath. For the majority of Rome's inhabitants, life began long before the sun crested the Capitoline Hill. It started in cramped quarters, the Insulae multi-story blocks where families and workers lived stacked upon one another like precarious ceramic tiles. Here the rhythm was dictated not by clock chimes but by necessity, the relentless pull of dawn and the urgency of survival. Before the heat built up or the crowds became an unbearable crush, routine demanded speed. The air smelled of wood smoke, unwashed bodies and baking bread. Down in the narrow alleyways, vendors were already setting out wares, spices, olives, rough textiles, their shouts echoing off the stucco walls. These early hours were a frantic ballet of preparation, securing goods, gathering tools, and making a swift passage through the labyrinthine streets before the day's demands became overwhelming. The sounds were a cacophony, blacksmiths hammering bronze, water carriers creaking with amphorae, and the clatter of wooden wheels. Every corner held a transaction or a struggle for space. Life was lived vertically and horizontally, a constant, hurried negotiation against the backdrop of the burgeoning Roman day. The city's true rhythm wasn't set by senators in their villas, it pulsed from the workshops and stalls that lined every thoroughfare. For the majority, existence revolved around specialized labor. Consider the baker, whose oven was both his livelihood and a vital artery of sustenance, or the potter, shaping earth into functional vessels essential for everything from cooking to storage. Every trade demanded physical skill and constant engagement with raw materials. These artisans, the blacksmiths, the tanners, the coopers, were the economic engine that kept Rome running. They operated in specialized quarters, their goods displayed in open-air market stalls or tabernae, which served as both shopfront and home. The local market was more than a place to buy. It was the central node where perishable goods met bulk commodities, facilitating a complex web of exchange that sustained millions. This daily cycle of production and commerce was the bedrock upon which Roman society rested. From grain shipments arriving at the docks to the sale of fresh produce from surrounding farms, every transaction fueled this massive system. This constant flow of goods ensured that even the humblest citizen had access to the necessities of life. The rhythm of daily Roman life was not solely defined by labor and commerce. Leisure played a profound role in maintaining social order and individual well-being. For many, the public baths or thermae were far more than mere places to wash. They were complex social crucibles, vast, echoing spaces where men and women could gather, exercise, gossip, and conduct business. Here, amidst steam and scented oils, a single conversation might solidify a trade deal or forge an unexpected friendship. Beyond the baths, public spectacles offered another essential escape. Whether it was the brutal spectacle of gladiatorial combat in the arena or grand processions celebrating a victory, these events were deeply woven into the fabric of life. They provided communal emotional releases and reinforced shared cultural values. Participation in these rituals, from the morning dip to the afternoon games, was not optional. It was an expected daily rhythm for the city's inhabitants. The sheer scale of these venues, from the Colosseum to local forums, demonstrated Rome's commitment to public life. These shared experiences bound diverse classes together, creating a collective identity that sustained the sprawling metropolis. While the wealthy lived in sprawling, architecturally perfect villas on private estates, the vast majority of Romans resided in structures called insulae. These multi-story apartment blocks were the backbone of urban life, yet they represented a stark counterpoint to the elite ideal. Built rapidly and often with questionable materials, these buildings housed thousands in extreme density. Life here was characterized by cramped quarters, shared facilities, and an ever-present sense of precariousness. The risk of fire from cooking fires or structural collapse was constant, making daily existence a gamble against gravity and flame. Yet despite the danger, the insulae fostered a powerful communal spirit. Neighbors relied on each other for support, creating intricate social networks within these towering concrete canyons. Architecture in this sense did not just house people, it dictated their proximity, their struggles, and their shared fate. These vertical slums were often built over ancient infrastructure, leading to unpredictable subsidence. Water sources, sometimes shared from communal pumps, became vital points of contention. This architectural reality cemented a rigid class divide. Above ground was precarious survival, below the enduring heart of Roman community. The foundation of daily life, however, rested on something far more elemental than architecture: food. For the vast majority of Romans, the plebeians and laborers' sustenance was a matter of necessity, not luxury. Their diet was remarkably simple, built around staples that could feed many people efficiently. At the core was grain, which formed the basis for bread, supplemented by legumes, pulses, and whatever seasonal vegetables were available. Wine, diluted with water, was also a daily requirement. This basic caloric intake meant survival, but it rarely spoke of pleasure. The state played an enormous role in maintaining this stability through the *annona*, the massive grain distribution system. Access to reliable rations prevented widespread famine and kept the urban population manageable. While the elite dined on exotic meats, elaborate sauces, and imported delicacies, the common person's meal was a testament to practicality and sheer endurance. This reliance on staples meant that diet varied greatly by region and season, yet this predictable cycle of bread and basic fare provided a stable rhythm to life in the city. It was sustenance enough to keep the sprawling metropolis functioning. But even this steady rhythm rested upon a foundation built of forced labor. For the vast majority of non-elite Romans, their working lives were not defined by free contracts or wages. They were often dictated entirely by others. Slavery was an inescapable economic reality. Slaves filled every conceivable niche, from handling the household minutiae within a wealthy villa to performing grueling manual tasks on massive agricultural estates. Their roles ranged from domestic servants and skilled artisans to quarry workers and dock laborers, their lives fundamentally lacking autonomy. Beyond chattel slavery, debt bondage created another class of non-free labor. Individuals who fell into crippling debt could find themselves bound to service until the obligation was repaid. These systems meant that a significant portion of Roman life operated outside the framework of free citizenship, existing instead as economic assets or sources of perpetual toil. Their existence was defined by dependency and the relentless demands of those who owned their time and strength. The physical toll was immense. Life expectancy for these groups plummeted compared to free citizens. Yet even in bondage, some slaves achieved remarkable forms of cultural influence, contributing vital skills that kept Roman society functioning. Beyond the visible constraints of labor and ownership lay an equally powerful network governing daily existence: the flow of information and law. For the average citizen, life was not merely dictated by physical proximity to a forum or workshop. It was governed by written decree, public announcement, and personal obligation. Local magistrates maintained order, their presence ensuring basic security through visible patrols and posted edicts detailing everything from market prices to curfew regulations. These announcements served as the immediate law for the neighborhood. Crucially, however, no single authority could manage every need. Protection, favors, and even access to justice often flowed through personal bonds. The system of clientela*. A common citizen relied on a powerful patron, or patronus*, who offered legal defense and social standing in exchange for loyalty and support. These networks were the invisible scaffolding of Roman life, providing a crucial layer of protection that transcended both physical walls and formal statutes. This reciprocal relationship was vital. A client offered daily greetings *salutatio*, and support, while the patron provided tangible security. Such mutual dependence structured everything from legal disputes to marriage alliances, binding communities together. As the harsh light of the day softened into twilight, the focus shifted inward. The monumental public life gave way to the intimate sphere of the home. For most Romans, the domus was not a place of luxury, but a sanctuary, a necessary haven from the city's chaos. Life here revolved around simple routines: preparing meals with staple grains and vegetables, sharing stories, and the quiet rhythm of family interaction. These evenings were crucial for maintaining social cohesion. Beyond the immediate family unit, spirituality anchored daily existence. Small household altars, often dedicated to protective spirits or local deities, served as focal points for private rituals. Daily offerings, whispered prayers, and small observances kept the spiritual world engaged with the mundane concerns of survival: a harvest, a child's health, or safe passage through the coming night. These domestic rites were not mere superstition. They were essential acts that defined Roman piety at the most personal level. These rituals connected them to ancestral traditions, reinforcing community bonds. The shared meal and the evening observance were powerful anchors, ensuring that even amidst poverty, a sense of enduring Roman identity persisted. The evidence we have gathered paints a picture not of uniform suffering, but of profound, persistent adaptation. Life for the vast majority of the plebeians, the laborers, the small farmers, was characterized by an extraordinary degree of resilience. They navigated a world built on rigid class structures and often brutal economic realities. Yet it was this sheer adaptability, this collective grit, that formed the true bedrock of Roman longevity. The empire did not simply survive because of its legions or its emperors. It endured because of the millions who kept the markets running, who tilled the fields, who maintained the infrastructure day after arduous day. They were the engine room of civilization. While history often focuses on the grand political narratives, the triumphs, and the fall, it is in these intimate details of daily struggle that we find the enduring spirit of Rome. A testament to human tenacity, a common life lived with unwavering commitment year after difficult year. Their resilience was visible in every bustling forum stall, every repaired aqueduct arch, and every family meal shared under a single roof. This enduring spirit, the quiet persistence of the common citizen, is perhaps Rome's greatest, yet least celebrated legacy.